Oxford from the inside. The good, the bad, but always the truth.
Hello everyone, I'm Anna and welcome to a new episode of Oxford from the Inside. The good, the bad, but always the truth. Today we're joined by Jess to talk about a day in the life of a music student. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jess and I've done my first year of music at Oriel College.
Right, thank you so much for joining us today. So I guess the first, just very broad question, what does a day in your life look like when you study music at Oxford?
A good question. So I'd say it's very varied, depending on sort of whatever you have planned for that day. And music has sort of like a fair amount of structured timetabling. So I probably have a tutorial or a lecture in one day, and then that sort of is the basis of how I do the rest of my work. So I base it on whatever time that I have to be somewhere, I have to sort of take my tutorial, and then the rest of my day is sort of I plan out myself based on whatever I have to do. So the essays that I have to write for that week, or the techniques work, or the music practice if you do performance. In terms of like an actual schedule, I try to get up around 8ish, but then obviously that does end up being later if I've been to bed late, if I've been out or something. Just have breakfast, then sort of normally start work straight away. I haven't had too many lectures starting at 9, so which is very nice, which means I normally just get straight to work and then just take a pause whenever I have to like go to a lecture. Or obviously they've all been online for us this year, so I guess when they're in person you've got to take a bit more time to actually walk there, and yeah.
So sorry, because you've mentioned like so many different things like practicals and lectures and tutorials. I was just going to ask, like, how is the music course structured, for example, in first year?
So overall, the course is quite sort of, it's very broad. It gives you lots of different options, different types of academic and musical study. Most of it is compulsory, which I think is a really good thing for first year, because it means that everyone gets a good thorough basis of all different types of musical study. And then when you get to next year and you choose your options, you then have a good idea of what kind of thing you'll be interested in. And then there are some options. There are 6, and you choose 2 of them. Some of them are more practical, like performance or composition, and then there's other ones which are more essay-based. So I think you can really sort of make of it what you want. Maybe not so much in first year, but when you get to second and third year, there are so many different options. And you can make it as practical as you want or as academic. So I know people that are choosing to do quite a few practicals, so performance, conducting, composition, and then I'm opting for more academic things. So I'll be doing a lot of like writing about music and essays and dissertation and stuff. And then in terms of the way this material is sort of given to you, you have your tutorials. You probably have about 3 a week in the different things you're doing, and then also lectures for the different topics, and sometimes seminars, but they're less frequent. So the main bulk of what you do is your tutorial work, and then also the lectures. And then obviously the essays that you write are also really important, because I think even though the lectures give you a good basis of information for your topics, the reading that you do for your essays is also really important, because that sort of just like adds something else as sort of like a personal touch to your essays, and gives you a bit more depth to talk about things, rather than basing it completely on the lecture notes, because then everyone will have the same thing. And it's also good because it means then you can focus on sort of a particular thing that you're more interested in, and then you can branch out from the overall sort of topic and research more into the bit that interests you more. So it's very sort of free if you find something you like.
We've talked a lot about the course, like the academic side to your day. I guess a second topic we can maybe talk about is extracurriculars. Do you have time to include them in your day, or is kind of Oxford all work? Yeah, how does that work out for you?
Always time for something else. Everyone I know just does so much extracurricular stuff. It's just crazy that anyone has time to actually do work. But I think music is particularly good for extracurricular stuff because there's obviously orchestras, choirs, chamber groups, just so much stuff, operas. Obviously less last year because of all the restrictions, but they'll definitely all be back soon. And I do choir, chapel choir, which is a quite big commitment. It's 4 times a week, with a rehearsal in the evening and then also a service. So that takes about 3 hours 4 times a week. So that's 12 hours of my week that's dedicated to choir, which is a big commitment. Like sometimes I do feel that when I have an essay deadline and then instead of writing the essay, I have to go to choir. But normally I'm able to schedule my time so that I've finished before I need to go to choir, or sometimes I don't.
Write it in the morning.
I get up at 6:30, write it, but that's fine too. It happens.
Right. Yeah, if you're ever wondering where Jess is, she's probably at Exeter Choir. Right, so is there anything else that you would like to talk about in a day of your life, either related to music or the social parts to Oxford?
I think the thing I like most about the Oxford system is the tutorials, because it means you just have a really nice small group of people that you can discuss really interesting things with. And it's small enough that you don't really feel too intimidated by it. And you just have a really good chat with sort of professors that are really expert in their field, and it's just really fun. And also it means you become really good friends with the people that you have tutorials with. So it's just like another way to find really nice friends.
Right, I think this is a very, very nice closing statement. I couldn't agree more. So thank you for joining us today. That's all we have time for. I think this is probably really helpful to someone who's thinking about applying for music. So thanks, Jess. And yeah, thank you also to our followers who are listening to this podcast. Do remember to follow us on Instagram at Oxford from the Inside. And bye, until next time.